It's time to learn our fourth experience marketing campaign, the application campaign, which is a great way to qualify and enroll customers, students, and clients. This is one of our easiest campaigns that works well for all kinds of experience products. Whether you have a one-on-one, one-to-few, or one-to-many product, I'll be giving you examples of one-to-one and one-to-few application campaigns in this training. Then I'll also share a one-to-many example in the Make It Beta training, which we'll be releasing soon. For some niches, products, and services, it's important to pre-qualify your customers, students, and clients to make sure that they're ready, coachable, willing, and able to do the work. This is especially true for one-on-one coaching, consulting, or mentoring, as well as one-to-few small group programs over a longer period of time, where the wrong customer could have a big impact on your peace of mind or the quality of the group. Remember the 5 ways to create urgency in your products from Module 2? Well, the application campaign has some built-in urgency, which makes it super powerful. The application campaign works great if you have a hard limit to the number of people that you can accept in your one-on-one or one-to-few product. It also works great if you have an application deadline leading into a specific program start time, kind of like applying to college. If you want to add even more urgency, you can make a slightly different special offer for each enrollment period or application campaign. And you can use this campaign the first time that you offer your experience product. Finally, since this campaign works great for one-on-one and one-to-few offers, which are by their nature more expensive and exclusive, you can use this process to pre-qualify applicants. This campaign works well as what's called a takeaway sale, where your customers are convincing you why they want to work with you rather than the other way around. The questions in an application process are designed specifically to help your prospects clarify what they want, commit more deeply to their goals and vision, and increase their desire to work with you. If you're offering a premium one-on-one coaching, consulting, service, or small group program that's priced over $2,000, prospects usually need to speak with you before they say yes to working with you. You can use an application campaign in conjunction with the Start with an Experience campaign. A well-designed application process allows you to protect your time and make sure prospects are serious before getting on the phone with you by requiring them to fill out an application and often place a refundable deposit before getting on the phone with you. When someone puts down a deposit to speak with you, they're showing a high degree of interest and are much more likely to show up for the call. A refundable deposit works like this. If you talk and they decide to buy your offer, you apply their deposit towards their investment. If you talk and decide it's not a fit, you refund their deposit. If they don't show up for the call and don't reschedule in advance, you keep their deposit. Okay, let's walk through the big picture campaign sequence for a one-to-one or one-to-few application campaign before moving on to some examples of how this works in practice. You send an email or Facebook note to an invitation video and or a webinar that invites people to apply for your product. The application process may or may not include an application deposit. Once they apply, you review the applications and write to everyone who submitted, either inviting them to a call or letting them know it's not the right fit. If you do turn people down at this stage, I recommend sending them some kind of free gift or resource to keep them moving forward. Even though it's not a fit now, it may be a fit in the future, so it's important to turn people down graciously. If it is a good fit, send them a congratulations email with a link to schedule a time on your calendar. If they schedule a call, you jump on the phone and hopefully make the sale. Keep in mind that you may need to email them more than once before they actually schedule their call. People are busy and they may need some follow-ups and reminders. Now for the examples. A one-to-one application campaign for a Take Flight Now web design service, and a one-to-few campaign for a 2016 mentorship program. Years ago, before we developed Heroic, Murray and I had a done-with-you service called Take Flight Now, where we tried to simplify the web design process so we could make it more affordable to emerging entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, the service didn't work as well as we planned. We realized that emerging entrepreneurs either needed a cheaper do-it-yourself solution or a completely done-for-you service, which we couldn't effectively deliver at a price point they could afford. However, Launching the product allowed us to get the feedback that we needed to iterate our way to awesome, and eventually Heroic was born. When you launch your product, you'll get a lot of clarity on what works and what doesn't, so you can also iterate your way to awesome. What we've learned along the way is that the only way to get to awesome is to launch your minimum viable product, provide as much value as you can, stay open to the feedback, and improve your product the next time you launch. Many of our products have gone through several rounds of iteration before finding their final awesome form. Take Flight Now became Heroic, Call to Adventure became Start With You, Message to Millions became Mentorship. We dropped the Message to Money program and kept the Message to Money live event. I'm pretty sure we'll be iterating and experiencifying Hidden Story Power, Personal Brand Power, and your website in a weekend sometime soon, because that's how we roll.
It is not about who we are, but who we become.
So even though the Take Flight Now service didn't work as we had hoped, we did run a solid application campaign. Here's what we did. I wrote a webinar called 4 Quick Fixes to turn your website into a lean, mean conversion machine. In that webinar, I showed 4 things your website absolutely needed to have. Then at the end, I invited attendees to submit an application for a Take Flight Now web design service, priced at $29.97, which included all 4 of the things I just taught. By the way, this is the same webinar that I used later on to sell our website in a weekend program. For Take Flight Now, we had a 3-part application process. Part 1 was a $97 deposit. Part 2 was a questionnaire. Part 3 was a discovery call. Now here's the order form for the $97 deposit. You can see that we reinforced the promise of the product at the top of the order form. Finally, 100% custom web design, reliable hosting, and proven conversion rates all in one affordable package. Then the call to action below. Register for your discovery call with the Take Flight Now Web Expert now. Just fill in the form below and leave your refundable $97 deposit. We also have a satisfaction guarantee on the page, which helps minimize risk, and our contact info in case someone wanted to ask a question before they applied. Then on the bottom of the order form, we also have some privacy and security info and social proof in the form of testimonials from our web design clients. While this is a custom order form, I recommend using whatever order form comes built into your shopping cart or PayPal. That won't necessarily give you the same customization options, but it will work fine. You can get fancy with your order form later on, once you've proven your product and have some money coming in to justify the expense. After they put down their deposit, we redirected them to this questionnaire. As you can see, we have a note at the top of the questionnaire to reinforce the value and urgency of our offer. It says Take Flight Now questionnaire. Thanks for your interest in Take Flight Now, our brand new done-for-you package. We, me and the entire Live Your Message team, are excited to help build or rebuild your web presence from the ground up into something that's a true, authentic reflection of who you are and that gets amazing results. At this time, we can take on just 4 new clients per month, so please understand that the more information you give us at this stage, the better we can judge the kind of results we can achieve for you. Then we have some basic info like name, email, and web address, and phone number. Then we get into the qualification questions. Please describe your business and audience. Be as specific as possible. What is your biggest frustration around fine-tuning your message and building your brand and web presence? If I could wave my magic wand and help you solve one problem, what would that be? In hindsight, I would have changed this question to what is your biggest frustration around your website? If I could wave my magic wand and help you solve one problem, what would that be? The original question implied that we were providing support with their message and brand when our service was focused on web design. It's important that your application questions really support the product you're offering. Then our next question, what are your biggest opportunities? What specific outcome do you want to achieve through your participation in Take Flight Now? There was actually a typo here that said message to money instead of Take Flight Now, but that happens sometimes. And finally, our last multiple choice question. Where are you in your business? With the options, I'm just starting out. I've been doing this for 1 to 2 years, but not where I want to be. I've achieved a certain level of success, but I want to take it to the next level. and I've built a successful business before, and I'm starting a new venture now, then of course the submit my responses button at the end of the survey. After they submit, you want to send them to a confirmation page. As you can see, we only had this makeshift page that said, awesome, thanks so much for your response. I'll be reading your answers personally in the coming 24 hours, Marisa. We didn't have time to create a more elaborate confirmation page, and our campaign was still successful. As I mentioned, if you have a solid offer, you can get a lot wrong and still reach mission accomplished. Our result? We had somewhere between 300 to 400 people on our webinar. We did this webinar as part of our Online Business Superhero Summit, so we had a great turnout. We got 101 $97 application deposits from that webinar and the post-webinar follow-up emails, which is an extraordinary webinar conversion rate. From there, we had 49 sales at $29.97, so almost a 50% conversion rate on the one-to-one calls with our sales team, which is really good. That brought in $146,853 on our core Take Flight Now offer. We did have some upsells for visual branding and copywriting, which I'm not counting here. Not so bad, right? We include the full email and webinar scripts in your worksheets for the session, so you have a complete campaign model to follow. I definitely recommend reading the case studies if you plan to use this campaign to sell your product. Now let's talk about our next application campaign example for our 2016 mentorship program. We ran a 12-day campaign that included a webinar, but I'm going to focus on the video invitation and application process since we only got a few applications from the webinar and the vast majority of applicants came from the video. We sent a 12-day perfect email campaign, which you'll be learning about in our next training, to a webinar, then to the video invitation that you see here on the screen. I took this screen grab on the last day of the campaign, so it says doors closed today on my 2016 mentorship class. You're here for something bigger. I can help you get there. This is your time. Then under that are some links to download the program booklet, schedule, and pricing. Then we have the call to action with some built-in urgency since we had a hard cap on the number of students that we could accept into the program. Then a testimonial video. After someone hits the Apply Now button, we took them to the application, which begins with some basic personal info like name, date, business name, homepage, and cell phone. If I would do this today, I would simplify it to just name, email, cell phone, personal Facebook profile, and physical address so we know the country and time zone our applicants are in. I would also ask them the best way to reach them so we know how to get in touch and don't have to play phone or email tag. Next up, we have more detailed questions. Describe your business as it is right now, including what you do, how long you've been in business, your income streams, number of clients, size of your team, size of your list, etc. If you are accepted into the program, what are your top 3 goals to accomplish over the next year? What are 3 challenges or obstacles that you would like to overcome in your business? Who or what do you think is responsible for your business success? This was kind of a trick question. We wanted to make sure that our applicants understood that they had to take personal responsibility for their success. This is what I mean by pre-qualifying your customers. We did have one applicant who wrote, "I don't know." I had a team member talk to her about her response, and we discovered that she wasn't able to take responsibility for herself, and we didn't end up accepting her into the program. Continuing on with our next set of questions. What is your vision for your company? How will your life and business be different if you are accepted into this program? How big are you willing to play? What is your financial goal for 2016? What was your actual business revenue for 2015? As you can see, we're both qualifying our customers and leading them through a process of getting clarity and building commitment around what they want and the support that they need to get it. The last few questions are specifically designed to pre-qualify our clients. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not at all and 10 is completely, how committed are you to building your business and making this year your best business year ever? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not at all and 10 is completely, how open are you to receiving support and being coached to your next level of success? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not at all and 10 is completely, how willing are you to invest both time, money, and energy into building your business? And finally, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not at all and 10 is completely, how able are you to invest both time, money, and energy into building your practice? What we've discovered is that the best applicants are at least an 8 across all 4 of these questions. If someone is less than an 8, they're not a good fit, and it's not a good use of our time to get on the phone with them at this time. Then we continue with a couple questions that have the applicant sell us on why they want to work with us. This turns the tables from having us convince them to asking them to convince us. This isn't false scarcity, since we do turn away applicants who aren't a good fit. Please describe why you would be an excellent candidate to work with Marisa and her team in the Live Your Message mentoring program, and what you would contribute to the other members. Is there anything else you'd like Marisa to know as she considers your application? Then at the bottom of the application, we pivot to the deposit. Now proceed to step 2. Please click the Submit button to send us your mentorship application, and proceed to the next step and leave your refundable application deposit and submit. Once they hit submit, we redirect to this order form where we ask them to submit a $197 application deposit. There are people who finish the main application who don't submit their deposit. In those cases, we email them to leave a deposit. If they don't, this automatically disqualifies them, and we don't get on the phone with them. So how did we do? We had 100 to 150 people live on the webinar. I believe we only got 2 to 3 applications directly from the webinar, though it could have played a role in the applications that came in later, since an application process does take some time and isn't something that someone can complete while they're listening to a webinar. Over the 12 days of the campaign, from our first email to the webinar to the application deadline, we received 21 applications and $197 deposits. At the time, I was still personally getting on the phone with everyone, so we had a great conversion rate, over 50%. That resulted in 11 sales between $9,997 and $17,997, and over $150,000 in revenue. We include the complete email and webinar scripts for both of these case studies in your worksheets for this session, so you have a comprehensive model to follow. If you're doing an application campaign to sell your experience product, I definitely recommend that you take the time to read both case studies. While both of the examples I gave you relied on our existing email list, I hope you can see how you can use a similar campaign without a list. For example, you could identify 20 to 50 prospects using a Chatterbox campaign, then ask them to submit an application. From there, you could expect to enroll between 1 to 10 clients, depending on how many prospects you have and how good you are at enrollment. While the details are different, the basic campaign flow is the same. You can do a very simple application campaign that gets you to mission accomplished. If you choose the application campaign as one of your 3 experience marketing campaigns, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to first review the application campaign case studies, then outline your overall application campaign, including emails, invitation video, application questions, and confirmation page. And finally, implement your campaign and be ready to launch in week 9 or 10 of the program. That's it for our 4th experience marketing campaign, the application campaign, which allows you to pre-qualify your customers, students, and clients. Remember, I'll be giving you one last one-to-many application campaign case study in the Make It beta training that we'll be releasing soon. That will show you how to run an application campaign for a brand new beta offer. But first, we've got the perfect email campaign, how to win them over one email at a time. In our next training, you'll also hear the juicy story of how Murray won my heart with his mad copywriting skills. Now go out there and live your message.